Good day, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. I'm your host, Neil Johnson. Canada has lost its freaking mind. I'm not kidding you. Doug Ford, Justin Trudeau, Freeland, all of them, they've lost their mind. If you live in Canada, I gotta admit, I feel sorry for you. You are starting a war you absolutely cannot win. I'm gonna show you the numbers later. But first, check this out from Doug Ford. He is a leader of the Progressive Conservative Party in Canada. What the hell does that mean? Progressive Conservative Party?
I said, number one, I don't start a tariff war, but we're going to win this tariff war. Right off the hop, I've directed the LCBO, we're the largest purchaser of alcohol in the world, to remove every bit of U.S. alcohol off the shelves.
Wait, did he just admit that Canada has a drinking problem?
Save one of those beers for me, eh?
With what's coming their way, they may need more alcohol, not less.
I know my good friend, the governor of Kentucky, he's losing his mind right now. I said, you better talk to your president. Mitch McConnell, senior senator from Kentucky, they're losing their mind. We purchased over $1 billion of alcohol, 3,600 products, 35 states. It's going to hit them.
Whoa, are you scared yet? You should be, because Doug Ford's going to hit you. It's going to hit you hard. Just wait, there's more crazy clips coming. But folks, you need to understand, it doesn't matter how much they tariff or boycott. Wait till you see these numbers. They are playing a game they can't win against an opponent they don't understand.
In 2023, Canada sent 76% of all of their exports to the United States. That accounts for roughly 19% of their entire GDP. In 2024, Mexico sent 78% of all of their exports to the United States. That makes up 37% of their entire GDP.
19 and 37% of their GDP respectively. So how much of our GDP will it be affected if we can't export to these countries? I'm glad you asked.
But for America, their exports to both countries combined only make up roughly 2.7% of their entire GDP.
Are you beginning to see just how foolish this is? And all they need to do is secure their border and stop the flow of fentanyl. But instead of doing that, this is the path they've chosen. But don't worry, now he's going to get Elon Musk.
Then we're going to cancel Starlinks right away from Elon Musk. Not that $100 million makes a difference for him, but it's principle.
He's a principled man, folks. Doug Ford is a principled man. If you buy that, I've got some oceanfront. I'm serious, man. This guy, this is not a principled stand. And what's really sad is if you want to look at the principle of who it's going to hurt, it's only going to hurt rural Canadians. But it gets even wilder. This next one's a jaw dropper.
I've directed the procurement of over $30 billion of goods, not to go to the U.S., to make sure we buy Ontario first. And if we can't find it in Ontario and we can't build it in Ontario, we go across the country. We have 51 tariff-free agreements with countries around the world.
Wasn't that a wild admission? 51 tariff-free agreements across the world, but not with us. Our cars get tariffed, our eggs get tariffed, our milk gets tariffed, everything from the U.S. gets tariffed in Canada, but they've got tariff-free agreements all over the place that they're going to then have to ship across the seas. Everything's going to get more expensive in Canada. They're fighting a battle they can't win. But he's not the only idiot. The chief idiot of Canada had something to say too.
Now, it's not in my habit to agree with the Wall Street Journal. But Donald, they point out that even though you're a very smart guy, this is a very dumb thing to do. We two friends fighting is exactly what our opponents around the world want to see.
Have you noticed that both of these fools talk in this staccato kind of language, and then they blink their eyes all the time? Because it's all an act, and it's an act they can't even do. They're not as tough as they want to make themselves out to be. Oh, sure, Justin can arrest people who bounce around in bouncy houses in his capital protesting the mandates up there. But let's be real. He had a police force with guns to do that. He doesn't have that luxury with Donald Trump.
We're going to choose to not go on vacation in Florida or Old Orchard Beach or wherever. We're going to choose to try to buy Canadian products and forego bourbon and other classic American products. And yeah, we're probably going to keep booing the American anthem.
Oh no, they're going to keep booing our national anthem. They're going to not travel to Florida. Ron DeSantis had something to say about that.
We continue to set tourism records. 2024 saw more than 142 million visitors come to the state of Florida. This includes 3.3 million visitors from Canada. That's not much of a boycott in my book. Maybe they wanted to get a glimpse of what a Stanley Cup winning hockey team actually looks like.
All right, so that's it. I mean, hey, hockey, you might as well take the shot. So, because, they want to know who could win a Stanley Cup here. But look, folks, the reality is that Doug Ford went on to say that he would deny us critical minerals for our military production and so on, which just further exposes what Trump said last night, that we need more of that production here at home because we can't be reliant on a trading partner like Canada who will act so crazy. In fact, here's his craziest statement yet.
We keep the lights on to 1.5 million homes and manufacturing in New York, in Michigan, and in Minnesota. If he wants to destroy our economy and our families, I will shut down the electricity going down to the U.S. And I'm telling you, we will do it.
At this point, after listening to his language, you should be so grateful you live in America. You should drop to your knees right now and thank the good Lord for it. Because one thing you will notice is that both of them talk about a unilateral ability to shut everything down. Because Canada, unfortunately, has become a totalitarian state ruled by a bunch of imbeciles. It's so bad, in fact, that a delegation is coming to the United States on the western province side, Alberta, to see if they can actually get that 51st state deal. Check this out.
On Alberta statehood?
Well, there's a group of Albertans that are working together right now to put together a delegation to go to Washington to talk to the Trump administration about Alberta petitioning for U.S. statehood. It's quite evident that we're being governed by idiots in Ottawa who don't understand that we can't afford a trade war with our largest trading partner. And rather than simply apologizing to President Trump for not meeting our NATO commitments and not adequately securing our border, apparently the Trudeau government has decided to declare a trade war and run up trillions of dollars in costs like they did during COVID on a made-up emergency. So there's a number of us in Alberta that have had enough and want to go speak with the Trump administration about the benefits of Alberta joining the United States.
See, some people get it. Now, what's interesting is all these Canadian leaders talk tough, but look at what's going on behind the scenes.
Now, both the Mexicans and the Canadians were on the phone with me all day today trying to show that they'll do better. And the president's listening because he's very, very fair and very reasonable.
But folks, I need to show you a video of the scariest figure in all of Canada. That's right, Chrystia Freeland, the finance minister who went after people's bank accounts during the trucker convoy. Yes, a wonderful person. And if she doesn't convince you and she doesn't have you shaking in your boots, I don't know who will.
But I do want to be clear to our U.S. neighbors. We can only be a good partner for you if you are a good partner for us. That is the exit ramp for you. That is why it is time to abandon what the Wall Street Journal has called the dumbest tariff war in history. So, American neighbors, just don't do this dumb thing. And now is the time to work closely with Canada on an economic partnership. But make no mistake, if you hit us, we will hit back. And let me be very, very clear. Our sovereignty is not up for negotiation.
But apparently Justin Trudeau has reached out to President Trump today, and this is how the call went, apparently. Justin Trudeau of Canada called me to ask what could be done about tariffs. I told him that many people have died from fentanyl that came through the borders of Canada and Mexico, and nothing has convinced me that it has stopped. He said that it's gotten better, but I said that's not good enough. The call ended in a somewhat friendly manner. He was unable to tell me when the Canadian election is taking place, which made me curious, like, what's going on there? I then realized he is trying to use this issue to stay in power. And he's already on the outs with Chrystia Freeland, so I wonder what's going to happen up there to our neighbors in the north, in the great nation of Canada, or is it the 51st state? Anyways, thanks so much for listening to another episode of Lumberjack Logic. Folks, remember, subscribe if you're new. We'll see you on the next episode. Peace out.